Every single day, thousands of immigrants land in the United States with dreams, with skills, with ambition. And within their first week, the American financial system completely shuts the door on them. No credit card, no loan, sometimes not even a bank account. And the worst part? Nobody warned them. Nobody explained the rules. Nobody told them that everything they knew about money, everything they built back home, means absolutely nothing here. This is not your fault. This is a system that was never designed to welcome you. But here is what they do not tell you. There is a way in. There is a path that most people never find because nobody makes a video like this one. And today, that changes. My name is your name, and I help immigrants and students understand the real rules of money in America. Not the complicated version, not the version full of terms you have never heard before. The real, simple, step-by-step version that actually works for people like you and me. People who started with nothing in this country and had to figure it out the hard way. And today I am going to show you exactly how I got my very first US credit card in less than 24 hours, with no credit history, no social security number, and no one to guide me. So that you do not have to go through what I went through, so that you can skip the confusion, skip the rejection, and start building your financial life in America from day one. If you are new here, if you just arrived, if you are a student on an F1 visa, if you came here on a work visa, if you are a permanent resident still figuring out the system, this video was made specifically for you. Watch it until the end because every single part of this matters. Now let me tell you the mistake that almost every single immigrant makes when they first arrive here. They walk into a bank. They show their passport. They show their visa. They sit across from a banker with a big smile, and they apply for a credit card. And the bank says no. And they walk out confused, embarrassed, and frustrated. Because back home they had a perfect credit score. Back home they paid every single bill on time. Back home they were financially responsible people. But here in the United States, none of that matters. And this is the brutal truth that nobody tells you when you board that flight. The US financial system cannot see your credit history from your home country. It literally does not exist here. The regulations are so different from country to country that there is absolutely no way to transfer your credit file from India or Nigeria or Mexico or Pakistan or the Philippines or anywhere else into the American system. So the moment you step off that plane, you are starting from zero. No credit score, no credit file, nothing. You are financially invisible. And in this country, being financially invisible is a serious problem. Because without a credit history, landlords can reject your rental application. Car dealerships will either deny your loan or charge you an interest rate so high it will make your head spin. Phone companies may ask for a huge deposit just to give you a plan, and some employers, yes, employers, actually check your credit when you apply for a job. So building your credit in America is not optional. It is not something you do when you feel ready. It is survival, and you need to start on day one. Now here is the most important thing I want you to understand before we go any further. Having no credit is not the same thing as having bad credit. Say that again to yourself. No credit is not bad credit. You are not in trouble. You have not done anything wrong. You are simply invisible to the system right now. And the good news, the great news, is that the moment you take the right steps, you can become visible very quickly, faster than you think. And that is exactly what this video is about. So let me explain how the system actually works, from the very beginning, in the simplest way possible. In America, there are 3 companies that track your financial behavior and create what is called a credit report. These 3 companies are Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. Every time you pay a bill on time, they record it. Every time you miss a payment, they record that too. Every time you apply for a credit card or a loan, they record that. And based on everything they have recorded about you, they give you a number. That number is your credit score. And your credit score in America ranges from 300 to 850. The higher the number, the more trustworthy you look to banks, landlords, and lenders. Here is how to think about those numbers. If your score is below 580, that is considered poor, and most banks will reject you. Between 580 and 669 is fair. You might get approved for some basic products, but at very high interest rates. Between 670 and 739 is good. This is where real doors start opening for you. Between 740 and 799 is very good. And above 800 is exceptional. The banks will be competing to give you their best offers. Now here is something very important. These 3 credit bureaus, Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion, they do not require you to be a US citizen. They track you using a social security number, which is called an SSN, or something called an ITIN, which stands for Individual Taxpayer Identification Number. And today, some of the newer financial platforms will even accept just your passport and your visa to get started. This means you do not have to wait. You do not have to get your SSN first. You can start building your credit the moment you arrive. So how exactly does your credit score get calculated? There are 5 factors, and understanding them is the secret to growing your score fast. The biggest factor, 35% of your entire score, is your payment history. This simply means, do you pay your bills on time? This one factor alone controls more than a third of your financial reputation in this country. So paying on time, every single time, is the most important habit you can build here. The second factor is credit utilization, and this one surprises most people. It makes up 30% of your score, and it measures how much of your available credit you are actually using. Here is the rule. Never use more than 30% of your credit limit. So if your credit card limit is $500, never let your balance go above $150. And if you really want to grow your score fast, keep it below 10%. Because the system is not just watching whether you pay, it is watching whether you are responsible with the credit you have been given. The third factor is the length of your credit history, how long you have had your accounts open. This is 15% of your score. The longer, the better. The fourth factor is your credit mix, having different types of credit like a credit card and a loan. This is 10%. And the fifth factor is new credit, how recently you applied for new accounts, also 10%. Every time you apply for a card and the bank does a hard check on your report, your score dips a little, which is why you never want to apply to too many cards at once. Now let me get to the part you came here for, the actual path. How do you get your first credit card in America? Fast, even with zero credit history. Let me start with the option that works for almost every immigrant, regardless of what country you are from, regardless of whether you have an SSN or not. It is called a secured credit card. Here is how it works. You give the bank a deposit. It could be as low as $49 or $200, and that deposit becomes your credit limit. The bank is not taking a risk on you because your own money is sitting there as protection. But the card works exactly like a regular credit card. You use it for everyday purchases, groceries, gas, subscriptions, and you pay the full balance every month before the due date. And every single month, the bank reports your on-time payment to the credit bureaus, and your credit score grows. One of the best options for immigrants right now is a company called First Card. What makes First Card different from almost everything else out there is that they do not require a social security number. They do not even require an ITIN. You can apply using just your passport and your visa. This means if you landed in America yesterday, you can apply today. And they report to all 3 major credit bureaus, Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. So every payment you make is building your score across the entire system. This is the fastest legal path available to a brand new arrival in the United States right now. Now let me talk about another powerful path that not many people know about. If you already had an American Express card in your home country, and this is specifically for people from countries like Canada, the United Kingdom, India, Australia, Brazil, and a few others, American Express has a program called the Amex Global Transfer. What this means is that Amex already knows you. They have your payment history from your home country stored in their own system, and they can use that internal relationship to approve you for a U.S. credit card, even though you have no U.S. credit file yet. But I have to give you a critical update here, because a lot of videos online are giving outdated information on this. There was an old program called Credit Passport, which was a partnership between American Express and a company called USACredit. That program allowed immigrants to use their international credit history to apply for Amex cards online. That partnership has ended as of 2025. It no longer works. The right path now is directly through the Amex Global Transfer Program. So if you have or had an Amex card in your home country, that is your shortcut. Go directly to Amex and ask about the Global Transfer Program. And if you are an international student, if you are here on an F1 visa studying at a university or college, you have a very powerful option that many students completely overlook: student credit cards. These cards are specifically built for people with no credit history. Some of them do not even require a social security number. You just need to show that you are enrolled as a student. Several of these cards have 0 annual fee, and they give you cash back on every purchase. This is one of the smartest first steps any student can take. Now let me talk about the mistakes. Because the credit card is just the beginning. What you do with it in the first 6 months determines everything. The first mistake is applying to too many credit cards at the same time. I understand why this happens. You get rejected once, you try another bank, you get rejected again, you try 3 more. Every single application triggers what is called a hard inquiry. The bank pulls your credit file to check your history. Each hard inquiry temporarily lowers your score. If you apply to 5 cards in 1 week, you are damaging the very score you are trying to build. The strategy is simple. Apply to 1 card, get approved, use it responsibly for 6 months, then think about the next step. The second mistake is closing your first credit card once you get a better one. I know it feels logical. You got approved for a better card, so why keep the old one? Here is why. The age of your oldest account is a factor in your credit score. The longer that first card stays open, the better it is for your score. Just leave it open. Put one small automatic payment on it like a streaming subscription, and forget about it. It is working for you silently. The third mistake is one of the most common myths in American personal finance, and I want to be very direct about this. Many immigrants believe that carrying a balance on your credit card, meaning not paying it off in full, somehow helps your credit score. This is completely false. Carrying a balance does nothing for your score. What it does do is cost you money and interest. Credit card interest rates in the United States are extremely high. Most cards charge between 20 and 29% per year. If you carry a $300 balance for a year at 25% interest, you are paying $75 in extra charges for absolutely no benefit. Pay your full balance before the due date, every single month, not the minimum, the full balance. The fourth mistake is using too much of your credit limit, even if you pay it off on time. Even if you have more than enough money in your bank account. If your credit card statement shows that you spent $450 out of a $500 limit, the credit bureaus see that as a warning sign. They think you are financially stretched. Keep your spending below 30% of your limit. If you need to spend more in a given month, pay down your balance mid-month before the statement date, not just before the due date. That small trick alone can make a significant difference in how fast your score climbs. Now let me give you some expert insights, things that most people in the immigrant community never hear, even from people who have been here for years. The first one is about sending money home. Every immigrant does it, and almost every immigrant is being charged more than they realize. When you send money through a traditional bank wire transfer, you see one fee, usually $30 to $50 for the transfer itself. But there is a second charge that is completely invisible. It is hidden inside the exchange rate. Banks do not give you the real exchange rate, the one you see on Google. They give you a rate that is 1 to 3% worse, and they keep the difference as profit. On a $5,000 transfer, even a 2.5% markup means $125 is silently taken from the amount your family receives. It never shows up as a fee. It just disappears. Use services like Wise or Remitly for your international transfers. They use real mid-market exchange rates, and their fees are fully transparent before you send a single dollar. The second insight is about a new law that went into effect in January 2026, and there is a lot of confusion about it online. It is called the remittance tax, a 1% tax on money sent internationally. Many immigrants are panicking about this, so let me be very clear. This tax only applies if you send money using physical instruments, cash at a counter, a money order, or a cashier's check. If you send money directly from your bank account or through a digital payment service, this tax does not apply to you. So as long as you are sending money digitally, you do not need to worry about this. The third insight is about your bank account itself. When you first open a bank account in America, pay very close attention to the monthly fee structure. Many of the big traditional banks charge $5 to $15 every single month just to maintain your account. If you do not meet their requirements, whether that is a minimum balance, a direct deposit, or a certain number of transactions, that fee gets charged automatically. You might not even notice it at first. And over a year, that is $60 to $180 quietly leaving your account. Start with an online bank that has 0 monthly fees. There are several good options, and they will save you real money while you are getting on your feet. And here's the last thing I want to leave you with, because this is the mindset that separates the immigrants who thrive financially in America from the ones who struggle for years. After you activate your first credit card and start using it responsibly, it takes 3 to 6 months to generate your very first official FICO credit score. So in the beginning, you will not see a number. You will check, and it will say no score available. Do not panic. Do not stop. It is coming. The system is watching. Every on-time payment is being recorded. Every responsible spending decision is being noted. And then one day you will check, and there it is, your first score. And from that point forward, it only gets better if you stay consistent. You did not come all the way to the United States of America to be invisible. You did not cross oceans and leave behind everything you knew to be rejected by a financial system that does not understand your story. You came here to build something real, and your credit score is one of the most powerful tools this country gives you to do exactly that. Use it, protect it, grow it. Start today, not next month, not when things feel more settled, today. Because the immigrant who takes action on day one is the same person who has a 700 credit score, a car loan, and an apartment lease 6 months from now. While everyone else is still trying to figure out where to begin, that is the game, and now you know exactly how to play it. If this video helped you even a little, please share it with someone you know who just moved here, or who is about to. This information could save them months of confusion and rejection. And if you have a specific question about your situation, your visa type, your country, your options, drop it in the comments below. I read every single comment and I will do my best to answer. Subscribe if you are not already, because every week I am publishing videos like this one that nobody else in this space is making. And I will see you in the next one.